Hey, what's going on, visionaries? Jason Osborne, J.O. Vision, back again with another video. I know I've been gone for a minute. It's been about 2.5 months, almost 3 months since I made my last or posted my last video. I've actually recorded 2 or 3 other videos since that time. I just didn't like the content that I was producing and I never put it out. You know, everybody gets self-conscious as a creative these days. So that was my excuse. Also, I've just been crazy busy with work and other photography related projects that I've been doing. So the YouTube kind of took a back seat, and I feel bad about that because you guys have subscribed to my channel. You guys have rocked with me and we're still growing. I'm still getting subscribers even though I haven't posted a video. So we're getting back to the regularly scheduled programming, I promise, and expect my weekly videos to return. So what are we talking about today? Well, we're gonna be talking about full frame versus crop sensor. Now, if you have a crop sensor, do you need a full frame camera? I'm gonna go over my likes about the full frame, what I miss about my crop sensor, and give you some tips on if you should invest the money in getting a full frame camera. Coming up. Okay, so yes, I have the 5D Mark IV now. I invested in this body, this expensive ass camera, because you know, the work called for the quality, okay? So what I'm gonna talk about is what I like first about using a full frame camera coming from a crop sensor camera. So the first thing right off the bat that I like about using full frame camera is the ergonomics of the camera. Now I have big hands, okay? My T7i, my Sl1, they felt like little itty bitty tiny pieces of equipment compared to what this beast feels like. Now don't get me wrong, this has a battery grip on here, but even without the battery grip, it is definitely solid. It's a lot bigger than any of the crop sensor cameras that I've used in the past, and I love the way it feels in my hand. Now, the build of it, I mean, it just feels like a solid professional piece of equipment. Not to say that the T7i or my other crop sensors didn't feel like a solid piece of equipment. It was kind of one of those things that you didn't know what you were missing because I had never really held a full frame camera before. I never really worked with a full frame camera. So I didn't know about the feel and the strength of the body and the quality of the build that I was missing out on. But now that I have my own and I've actually been able to work with it a lot, I can tell you that it definitely blows the crop sensor cameras away. You get your money's worth when it comes to the build construction, the material that the camera is made out of. It just feels solid. It doesn't feel like it's, you know, cheap plastic or anything. It really feels like it's a solid build, and I like that a lot. Another thing that I like about having a full frame camera is that I'm finally getting to see the true focal length. Everyone knows when you have a crop, you have to go either by 1.5 if you have a Nikon or 1.6 for Canon crop factor. Having a full frame camera, seeing true focal length, seeing a 24 millimeters for what it really is, seeing a 50 millimeter at actually 50 millimeters, not 80, seeing an 85 at actually 85 and not 130 something, that is like, honestly, like that's the thing that I love the most about it. Like I look in the viewfinder and it just looks so much bigger compared to a crop sensor. And I see the whole entire focal length of the lens, and it really helps with shooting. It makes things a lot easier, and I don't have to move around as much because, you know, I actually am getting the true focal length. I also am in love with the low light capabilities of a full frame camera. Now, if you do a lot of low light or night shooting photography, you definitely should invest in a full frame camera, even if you are a hobbyist, because it will save you a lot of time down the road as far as cleaning up your images and getting some noise. Now, don't get me wrong, you will definitely still have some noise in your pictures when you use a high ISO. But with full frame compared to crop sensor, in my opinion at least, you can go a lot higher in ISO without seeing any noise. And then when you do get some noise, if you're really cranking it up, it's a manageable amount that's not gonna really ruin your edit when you're going post. So what I miss about my crop sensor camera is actually kind of a contradiction to why I love the full frame. But what I miss about my crop sensor is actually the weight and the portability of it. Like, I never really thought I was gonna miss it, but having a smaller camera, a lightweight camera, being able to have it around and not feel that weight on my neck or on my hip when I have it strapped into my my hip holster, like, it's amazing. Like, I love having that portability, that lightweight feel, being able to get different angles and things like that because I can hold it with one hand and not have it be an issue. Those are things that I definitely took for granted. And if you are someone that doesn't like a lot of weight on them while they're shooting, I would suggest probably, you know, sticking to a crop sensor. I also miss the flip screen. Now, not all crop sensors come with flip screens, and there are some full frame cameras that include flip screens, like the 6D Mark II. The 5D, for whatever reason, Canon's being cheap, and they didn't put a flip screen on the 5D Mark IV. Now, maybe it's because it's their luxury camera, I don't know, and they thought it would, you know, you shouldn't need a flip screen on this. But I like getting low angles, I like getting high angles, you know, and the flip screen allows you to do that without having to bend down or be on your tippy toes or be in an awkward angle or potentially miss a shot, because you can just angle the screen or however you want so you can get the shot that you need. I miss that about my crop sensor. So, do you need a full frame camera? Or should you stick with your crop sensor if you're using one right now? Or maybe you're just deciding to get into photography and you're mulling your choices is over if you should start with a crop sensor or if you should go with a full frame. I will say this, if you are a hobbyist, okay, and I'm sure people will disagree with me, but if you are a hobbyist, you're doing this for fun, you're not making any money with this art form, you know, you're not charging people, you're shooting for free, you're going out, you're just doing your, you know, you can still be really great at what you do, you're just not taking it seriously, you have a, you know, this is just a hobby for you. I don't really see the need for you to spend the extra money on a full frame camera, unless you're doing a lot of night urban shots, maybe of the city, maybe long exposures is what your thing is. Maybe even if you do landscape, you know, at night or low light photography, then maybe you should get a full frame camera. But if you are just a hobbyist shooting a lot of your shots in daytime, or maybe you're just shooting a lot of family stuff or anything like that, I would say do not worry about getting a full frame camera, at least not right away. Sorry, my cat is, you know, playing with the tripod. Hold on. Beerus, Lord Beerus. All my Dragon Ball Super fans, you know who I'm talking about. Hakai. Ooh, look at that beautiful cat. Look at him. If you are, you know, a semi, I want to say professional, but you know, you're taking a couple jobs here and there, but you're mostly still doing it as a hobby. You have some skill with the camera. Do you need a full frame camera? I'm still gonna say no, not really. At that point, I would say you're probably definitely thinking about switching to a full frame. You're starting to notice some of the limits and constrictions of a crop sensor camera, and if it's starting to annoy you, by all means, get yourself an entry-level full frame camera. You don't need to go ahead and spend, you know, all the crazy money to get a 5D Mark IV. You can get a used 6D, you can get a used 6D Mark II, or you can get them brand new. Either one of those would be great. You can either also get great deals on used 5D Mark IIs and 3s now. That's if you're a Canon shooter. You know, Nikon I know has a good selection of affordable full frame cameras as well. So I would say that if you're starting to really notice the restraints and constrictions of your crop sensor and you're making a little bit of money with photography, you know, you might definitely could benefit from having a full frame. But if not, and you're still, you know, think that your crop sensor is everything that you could have wished for, stick with the crop. Now, if you are doing photography full time, or you're to the point where, you know, you're booking shoots at least once or twice a week, you're getting paid for most of your work, you're bringing in a good amount of money where you're getting a return on your investment for the gear that you bought and things like that, I would suggest get a full frame. But only if you know photography, like in the technical aspects of what the cameras can do, you know all your modes, you know when to use them, you know composition, you know techniques, X, Y, and Z, then go ahead and get yourself a full frame camera. Full frames are not going to make your pictures instantly better, all right? I've seen a lot of people who shoot with full frame and their pictures are just so-so, but it makes your job easier. The amount of buttons that control the functions on your camera, having the true focal length, having the wider ISO range, having, you know, more pixel areas. All of that can help you get shots that might be a little bit more challenging with your crop sensor. Doesn't mean that your shots are gonna be better, it just means that you could achieve these shots a lot easier than if you were to have your crop camera. That's my experience so far using full frame versus crop sensor. I hope this will help you in your decision-making process. You know, by all means, this is just my opinion. Nothing is really factual except for the reasons that I liked it and why, you know, I miss my crop. So don't feel that if you were thinking about a crop, now you have to get full frame, or if you were thinking about getting a full frame, now you have to get a crop because you might not fit in one of those categories. This is just simply my opinion. If you like this video and it helped you today, please give me a thumbs up, hit that like button for your boy. I need them all. I'm back. I'm coming back every week with some new content, so please help and support the channel. And if you are a fellow YouTube, I will do the same for you. Just send me a message with a new video that you just posted. I will check it out. If you have any questions or comments about this video, please leave them in the comment section below. I read all the comments and I converse with everyone who leaves one, so please leave a comment. I like to hear from you guys. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I am coming back, and I am back, and new content will be coming out weekly. I'm trying to get out 1 to 2 videos a week like I was before, so please share them, like them, comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is Jason Osborne, JO Vision, and I will be back on the next video. If you'd like to see some of my work, you can check me out on Instagram at JO Vision. Follow me, say you came from my YouTube channel, and I'll follow you back. Stay blessed, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.